start on your backs. And what I want to show you is it's kind of neat. I do this sometimes. If you have two blocks, if you don't, it's okay. You just have your feet flat to the floor. But when you start with your feet hips width distance. I'm like coming off the block, off the mat, with your feet on the block, okay, on both blocks, and one under each one. And then just have your feet and your knees straight forward, palms facing up, and just relax here for a few breaths. Start with that. If you have one block, it could go long, and your feet can kind of go like this. It's more ideal with two. Let's see. It's fun to play with blocks. My blocks and my pants match. Okay, so yes, just do that. Turn your palms open, feel your lower back spread, and if you don't have blocks, just have your feet flat to the floor. Yeah. And just feel the elevation of your feet lifted from the ground, but feel the connection to your feet to the blocks. Feel the connection of your lower back spreading across the mat. And it's interesting, when I'm in this position, sometimes I just want my knees to drop open. Don't let that happen just yet. Just breathe right here. And if you feel like you're all over the place, welcome to the party. Quiet your mind by using your breath. Just focus on the inhale breath, followed by the exhale breath. Mm-hmm. And just start to link breath with feeling, feeling with breath, making a connection. So very, very simple movement right here. Keep your left foot on the block. Take your right ankle and cross it over your left thigh. So you're going to do we're going to do a type of ankle to knee on our backs, threading the needle. But I want you to keep your left foot down on the floor on the block, okay? Yes, and I want your palms open. You're actually not using your hands at all. Palms stay open, you stay rooted. And I want you to not aggressively, but interactively begin to externally rotate. When I say externally rotate, you're letting your right thigh move away from you, and a strong, strong flex. So imagine that you were pressing your hands against your leg, but I want you to do it with like an effortless movement. So make a strong connection to your right leg and breathe your right thigh open as you strongly, strongly press your right foot and flex it. And keep your left foot connected to that block, that elevation of the block. Keep pressing that left foot down into the block as your lower back spreads. So you're just making a very simple shape, a very simple movement, and maybe not a lot is happening, and that is okay. 2 more cycles of breath. Then keeping your left leg bent on the block, don't move it at all. Hug your right knee, just hug it in towards your navel. Don't let your left thigh wrap out. You have to hug your left hip in, stay rooted to the foot to the block. Draw the right knee towards the navel, lubricate the hip. Hold. Soften the shoulders down the back, squeeze a little tighter. Then keeping your right leg super close to you, slide your arms straight forward like you're doing a Pilates roll-up. So it's almost like I'm crunching up like a ball in space. Now, if neck is sensitive, hands simply just go behind the head. You give yourself a little bit of traction and a little bit of elevation. So I'm reaching and I'm scooping. My left foot is bent. My left leg is bent. My foot is pressing into the block. My right knee is drawing towards my navel. My shoulders are lifted and I'm scooping out my belly, and it's a little funky. I want it to be. Extend your right leg straight forward and see if you can hover it from the ground. If you need to lift it up on an angle because lower back sensitivity, totally fine. Most challenging will be a strong hover. The arms continue to scoop forward, shoulders lift. Keep the arms moving forward. Draw the right knee back in. Keep elevation of the shoulders, the neck. Scoop out the belly. Hold. Try it again. Slow movement. Extend your right leg forward. Flex the foot. Draw the waist in and up. Hug the right knee in. Pause. One more time. Extend the right leg all the way forward. Let it hover wherever it works. Hug the right knee straight in. Pause. Hug the right knee in, relax the shoulders, extend the right leg up, grab behind the right thigh, somewhere, meaty part. If you're more flexible, you can grab your calf. You could also grab the big toe if you want, but just give yourself a little hamstring release. Let your leg fall into your clasped hands and breathe. Breathe your right leg open. Bend your right foot, place it back on the block if you can find it. You kind of have to find it in space. Good. Keep the right leg down. Hug your left knee in. Squeeze it in tight. Lubricate the hip. Pause. Watch that the left knee doesn't wing out. It's so natural for that to happen. Keep the right foot rooted and connected. Hug the left leg a little tighter, a little closer. Reach your arms forward. So in space, you're just going to create this shape. Yes, right foot stays down. Don't let that leg wing out. Hug the knee in a little closer. Scoop out the belly. Extend the left leg all the way forward. Let it hover wherever it works most. Hovering the shoulders, drawing the belly in. Hug the left knee back in. Scoop in a little closer, a little tighter. Extend the left leg forward. Do it slow. Hold. Hug the left knee and do it again. A little closer, a little tighter. Scoop out like a little ball. Extend the left leg all the way forward. Let it hover. You got it. Hug the knee in. Squeeze it tight. Relax. Grab behind the thigh and give yourself a little hamstring release. Let the leg kind of fall into your clasped hands as you breathe. Soften the shoulders, down the back. Let the left foot come to the floor. Hug the knees in, rock and roll. You're going to have to move the blocks out of the way, move them, float forward this morning. Plant your hands, step to a tabletop position like this. Extend your right leg straight back. It looks like this. Curl the toes into the mat. Just breathe. Walk your leg over off the mat over to the left. So you're kind of making a cross, like you're crossing your leg. It's going completely off the mat, but your hip points are still squared. Yeah. Walk the leg back to center, pause, lower the knee down. Try the other side. Curl the toes into the mat, activate your leg, breathe. Plug down with your hands. Walk the left leg off the mat over to the right. Keep your hips square, draw your belly in and just feel. Good. Come back to center with the leg, pause. Plank position. Find plank. Yeah, and if you get to plank, you're like, this sucks. I don't feel like doing plank. Right. You drop your knees and you support plank, but lead with your chest in plank. Yeah, we want a healthy relationship with our yoga practice. We don't want to feel like we hate our yoga practice because of poses that we feel that we struggle with. There's no reason to struggle in the posture. There's a reason to challenge ourselves, but kind of find a sweet spot that works for you. Lengthen. Look forward with your eyes a little, not with your neck or your head. Yeah. Stay with it. Couple more cycles of breath. Contract your thighs. Fire up the sides of your triceps. Activate the sides of your ankles. Arms are straight, legs are straight, hips up and back, down dog. Find your sweet spot, downward facing. Take up a lot of space in your dog. Or maybe your dog is taking up a lot of space on your mat. So, but regardless, be in a nice solid down dog, a little bend behind your knees if you're feeling the -8 or 11 degree temperatures. Yeah. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning. And I like to pay attention to the little things, such as spreading my toes wide across the mat. Yeah. Activating the sides of my triceps and feeling my baby fingers, my thumb, my index fingers press down. The goal is to get rooted. Nice, Kristen. Roll forward to plank. Lead with your chest and your heart. Yeah. Good. Lower all the way down onto your bellies. You're going to take a baby cobra this morning. So when you go to baby cobra, have your hands a little bit back. It looks like this. Activate the tops of the feet. It's a gentle, milder back bend. Seat to heels for a child's pose. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So let's just do that one more time. You're going to roll forward to plank. You can lower all the way down to your belly, slide your hands back for baby cobra. Yeah, your hands aren't up by your shoulders. They're back a little bit closer towards where your like waist and ribs meet. Seat to heels for a child's pose. Hips up and back, down dog. Okay, that may be what we do today for a lot of us. Roll forward plank. Halfway to a push-up or supported push-up, depending on what's going on in your body. Baby cobra or up dog, you pick. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So as we move through life, our body parts change on a regular basis. So if something is going on in your shoulder, your neck, your back, you make little modifications to make the practice work, okay? So it's not always so black and white. There's a lot of gray. Look to the top of the mat. You can step this morning to get there or crawl. Long spine when you arrive. Hands can also come to the front of your shins if you're hanging like a wet noodle. Bend your knees. Exhale, fold into yourself. Do that again. Inhale, long spine. Fingertips either line up with your toes or hands to your shins. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Good. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor yourself as you grow big. Stretch towards the sky with your arms and your fingers. Drag your hands to prayer at heart and then drop your arms alongside your body. Very simple sun salutations here. Sweep your arms straight up towards the sky. Look up a little with your eyes. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight carry you forward. Long spine sets you up. Step to plank for this first one. Just step to plank and make it really deliberate. When you arrive to plank, pick push up, cobra, double push up, whatever you're doing today. If you're sliding into an up dog, press to the tops of the feet in your hands evenly, and then hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Look to the top of your mat. You can step. You can float your feet there if you're feeling extra springy. So if you're drinking coffee like Michelle is, she may just be able to hop right there. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor yourself, grow big. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up a little with your eyes. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. Step through your vinyasa. Your vinyasa is about you. So make something work for you. We meet in a downward facing dog where we catch our breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Look to the top of the mat. Step your feet there or float lightly. Long spine on the inhale breath. Keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Arms slide up, anchor. Dive over, bend knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare you. Step, or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog is a smooth operation. Hips up and back, downward facing. Keep your arms straight, look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. One more. Slide your arms up, look up a little. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through a vinyasa. Double push-ups, no push-up, up dog, cobra, meet in a downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Yeah, with resistance. Roll forward to plank. Hug your right knee towards your navel. Arms are straight up and down. Without your hips moving, slide your right foot back to plank. Look forward with your eyes, lead with your chest. Hug your left knee in towards your navel. Do your best with this. Arms are straight up and down. Scoop out your belly. Left leg back without your hips moving. Plank. Right knee towards navel. Keep the breath flowing. Right foot back, plank without the hips moving. Left knee in. Scoop out your belly. Left leg back, plank position. Halfway to a push-up. Up dog if you're taking. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot forward. Low lunge. Yeah, make sure your stance is wide enough and long enough. Actually do this. Drop your back knee in an angle. Keep the toes curled into the mat just to start. And bring your arms up. Yeah. Focus on your right hip. Hug it in. Yeah. Perfect. Keep the arms moving up. And then activate your back leg from the ground up and come up that way into crescent lunge. I like to do it sometimes that way because you can feel what's going on in your body. It's a little bit of a slower movement. You may find that having a little bend in your back knee actually helps move the hip points forward. If you're able to have your back leg super strong and straight, just remember you want your lower back to not have it too much compression. Bend deep into the standing right leg. Yes. Arms go straight up and down. Look forward with your eyes. You got it. These look good. Lots of serious yogis. And then I just saw my nephew's face like pop into the camera. Yes, that was him. Slide your arms straight forward like you're handing a tray to someone. Wrap your left arm under. If you've got any shoulder issues, you can just give yourself a hug. Yeah. You don't want to pull down. You want your elbows to lift up, look forward. Focus on your right leg. You're going to float your left leg up. It may be a little funky. Eagle. It's early. Steer your knees forward, your hips back. Get heavy in your standing right leg. If you can't wrap your foot, you can just have the foot kind of wrapped to the side. Totally fine. Like a chair, get heavier in your legs as you sit. Good. Keeping your arms bound like this, it may or may not work. Slide your top leg back, warrior one. So you're going to come into warrior one with your arms in eagle arms. Just have to kind of guide your foot back. Do your best. It's just working on a little proprioception this morning. Yeah. The outer blade of your back foot is turned on a very strong angle. So your thigh bone is going forward. If your lower back is sensitive, I could recommend just pitching forward like I'm demonstrating a little with the spine. If you're okay in the lower back, straight up and down we go. Bend deep into the standing right thigh. Good. Actually, inhale your breath, lift through your heart a little. Exhale, come forward. Let's go for a humble right here. You can come down with humble warrior eagle arms. Wrap your right shoulder on the inside of your right leg, or simply just rest your stomach on your thigh. You pick. Steer the hip points forward. So if you're getting in there, see if you can kind of round into yourself like a little ball. Let your head go. Squeeze your right hip under you and anchor your back left leg super strong. Steer the waist forward. Hold. Press strong through your feet and legs. Pull your torso up. Keep a strong bend in your front thigh. Unravel your arms, warrior one. Let the blood flow to your fingertips. Look forward or look up a little. Hands to the floor through vinyasa. If you're choosing not to take vinyasas, just go to dog and hold. Maybe add a couple push-ups if you're opting out of the back bend. Meet me in a downward facing dog. When you get there, land your left foot forward. Big step. Drop your back knee at an angle to start. Keep the toes curled and come up to a supported lunge just like this. Grip your left hip in. Make sure your left knee is directly over your left ankle. Proper alignment will win. Yes. Activate the back knee and then fire it up for crescent lunge from the ground up. Look forward with your eyes. Maybe taking a soft bend behind your knee is helpful today. maybe straight, strong back leg. Hip points move forward, arms energize up, eyes move up a little towards the sky. Arms slide straight forward like you're handing someone something. Wrap your right arm underneath your left, or just simply give yourself a little bear hug. You pick what feels the best. Focus intently on your standing left leg. Step up into eagle. So take your time doing it. Wrap your right thigh around and then sit deep. If the foot doesn't wrap, that's okay. If the foot can get around the calf, wonderful, give it a try. Get heavy in your standing legs. Steer your knees forward and your hips back. Lift your elbows up. Let the breath lead the pose. Sit a little deeper. Keep the arms down. Unravel your right leg back, warrior one. Do your best to guide it back. Yes, warrior one, but keep the eagle arms. Bend deep into the standing left leg. Make sure the right foot is on a strong angle. Inhale the breath, lift the heart up a little. Exhale, come forward for humble. Either wrapping into the inside of your left leg, grip your left hip in strong, or simply just resting your stomach on your thigh. Either way works great today. If you're rounding in, round into yourself. So as we get lazy in this pose, our hip wings out. Hug your left hip in strong, press strong through the feet and legs and get in there. Strong legs, press up. Warrior one, unravel your arms, let the blood run to the fingertips, which should feel good. Let your right ribs move forward. Perfect. Hands to the floor. Vinyasa, right to a down dog, anything goes. Look to the top of the mat, step, step, or float your feet there. Long spine on the inhale breath, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. I take mine with my feet apart, but you can have your feet touching. Get heavy in your legs as your arms move up. Look forward with your eyes. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. From the top, we'll put a few together, okay? Here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into chair. Dive over, always bend knees forward, fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare you. Step or float through your version of a vinyasa. When you get to your downward facing dog, land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. Just do your best. Hands come down, move through a vinyasa or right to a dog. The left foot lands on your own beat, warrior one, come on up. Hands come back down to the floor on your own breath, Chaturanga. Meet me in a downward facing dog and hold. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Get there lightly. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit deep into a chair, weight moves into your heels. Stick your butt way back. Yeah. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into a chair. You got it. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight pull you forward. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare yourself. Step, step, float through a vinyasa, whatever feels good. Up dog is smooth. Nice, Allison. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Warrior one, if you're nursing an injury, crescent lunge is just as good. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Try not to fling through it. Do it slow enough that you can feel what you're doing. Upward facing. Some of you have a lot of energy this morning. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot forward, back foot turns. Warrior one, come on up. Back down you go through a vinyasa, controlled movement. Up dog, add an extra push up if you want. Hips up and back, downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. We'll just do one more. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Get there lightly. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair, weight moves into your heels. Press up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, reset. One more, arms slide straight up towards the sky. From the top is always easier. Sit deep into a chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your weight pull you forward. Long spine sets you up, step or float through a vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Hands to the floor through a vinyasa, keep it moving. Upward facing. Nice, hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. These look solid. Hands come back down to the floor through a vinyasa. Add in extra push-ups, guys. If you want a little more, you do it. Or takeout. Meet me in a down dog. Good, roll forward to plank. You do that so slowly and gingerly, yes. Hug your right knee in towards your navel. Squeeze tight. Arms are straight up and down. Lots of good energy flowing through your body right here. So hug in a little tighter, scoop out the belly, look forward with your eyes. Step your right foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Go ahead and take a block if you have one to the instep of your foot. Slide your right palm to the block. Back of your arm presses against inside a leg and come into a B variation from here. So staying close to the floor this morning for this first one. Your arms like a big cross, yes. Lean back a little, grip your right hip in, and turn your bottom ribs open, look up with your eyes. So your back foot should have a nice little angle to it. Great. And if you feel like you want to add a little more with your left arm, your hand can always come to your hip. This is a good spot for a lot of us. Or you can wrap your arm around and go for a half bind this morning. Get real heavy in that standing right leg though. Turn your ribs and your chest open up your collarbone, maybe look up a little with your eyes. Sometimes when I hold this pose, what I like to do is come up onto my right fingertips. Yeah. And that kind of gives me a little bit more space to breathe my chest open. Continuously hugging your right knee, your right hip under you as you turn your ribs. The moments you get to be still and quiet are a gift. So just be here and breathe. Unravel warrior two, come on up. If you feel like your stance is a little bit more girth, take a little bit bigger step, lengthen your tailbone, spread your collarbone, and open up your arms nice and wide. Wrap your right thigh open. Close your eyes and hold here. Find stillness in your body and your mind. Let your breath just free flow through your body and aid the posture. Stick with it. Spread your arms wider. Give your back left arm a little bit more love than your right because they have a tendency to lean. Straighten your right leg on track. Turn your right toes in. Yeah, clasp your hands behind your back, interlace them. If this doesn't feel good for the shoulders, you just simply bring your hands to your hips. Bend behind your knees, inhale your breath, exhale, come down the center. If having the hands bound bothers you, you can always just have the hands directly on the floor, kind of like Chaturanga, like arms, and pull your chest towards you. Yeah, great. And to get a little more into the shoulders, those clasped hands can drop further away from you. You can also have as much bend behind your elbows as you need. Perfect. So whenever you bend and you fold forward, always be mindful that your knees have a little bend. Because your hamstrings are the gateway to your lower back. Let your head just go. Good. Come up halfway, pause. Slide your hands to your hips, soften behind your knees. Keep the weight evenly distributed. Come the rest of the way up. Good. From your right hip, just turn your right toes out, straight out. Open up your arms very wide. We're setting up from triangle right here. Reach out and slide your right hand to your right shin. Left arm spreads up. Using a block to the outside of the calf is very helpful for a lot of us. Or just feel like you're pulling the pant leggings up the leg. Soften behind the right knee a little and reach up big with your left arm. Yeah, there's a feeling that you're leaning back a little bit, but not going into a deep back bend. Your side ribs are long, your obliques are working strong, your neck is neutral, and you feel pretty rooted and grounded. Your outer hips are hugging in. Now keep all that, look down and see if you can float up right here into a half moon. Make the movement very kind of easy and effortless. Grip your right hip in strong. Your left hand can always come to your hip if you need a little help with your balance. I like my block on the highest setting, but you pick what works best for you. Lift your left leg as high as your body, flex the left toes. Breathe open. And if you fall, just come back to the pose. It's just a yoga pose. That's it. You try it again. Hug your right hip in strong like Tadasana and keep your right foot forward. Stay with it, 2 more breaths. Focusing on your right foot and your right hip. Transition back to triangle, maybe drag the block with you or step slowly pulling up in the front of your right shin. Anchor through your feet, through your legs, and pull up on the front of your shin as you broaden your left arm more to the sky and look up. Good. Circle the hands to frame your front foot. Lean on your left hand. You're going to roll right into a Vashisthasana side plank, stacking your 2 feet. Or dropping your bottom knee to the floor if you need to modify this morning. Yeah. Staggering your feet. Sparking up your toes. Yeah, some of us need to drop to our forearms. Some of us need to drop to our knees, tent our fingers. So many great ways to do the pose. There's not just one. Lift from your bottom hip through your top hip. Draw the belly in and use your side ribs. 2 more. Plank position, slow and pause. When you get to plank, feel like you're leading with your chest. Hold plank or hold push-up chaturanga, you pick. Re-straighten your arms if you chose the push-up option. Pause here. Nice. Hug your left knee in towards your navel. Scoop out your belly. So systematic movement, that's what it's all about. Your arms are straight up and down. Draw in. Look towards your knee. Scoop it out a little bit more. Arms are strong. Look forward. Land your left foot straight forward. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Reach for your block. Place the left palm flat. Open up into a B variation. Lean back a little bit. Scoop up that left hip. Turn the bottom ribs. And breathe right here. So if you were really tight in your hips, you could use 2 blocks. You could always rest your arm on your thigh as another option. Just do that kind of real mindfully, making sure that your shoulder's soft away from your ear. Adding in the half bind or the half bind, you wrap your arm around. Firm through your legs. And then you kind of settle into the pose and get all the good stuff from it. Just you and your breath on your mat. Get a little heavier in your standing left leg, stick with it. Strong breath, strong legs, warrior two, come on up. Maybe widening the stance if you have a little bit more room. Spread the collarbone, wrap the left thigh open, make sure the knee is tracking directly over the ankle, and then settle in here for a few really juicy breaths. Maybe close your eyes if it's available to you. Maybe just focus on your drishti, a focal point. Lengthen your tailbone, settle in. Give your back right arm just as much love as your left. It may even need a little bit more if you feel like you're leaning into the posture. Stay with it. Straighten your left leg on track. Turn your left toes in. Clasp your hands the opposite direction. Inhale the breath. Bend behind your knees. Exhale, fold forward. Let your head go as you kind of melt into this. If you have tripod in your practice and you feel like, oh, I feel like I'm ready to go up, this would be a good time to do it. You can plant your hands down. Yeah, go for it. Rest your head to the floor and work yourself upside down. Nice work, guys. Yeah, it's not for everyone. So that's why it's really good to work from this place, because a standing separate leg forward fold is just creating the same effects. You got it, Holly. Flex those feet. So if you did go up, you see if you could split your legs apart, come down halfway, maybe hover. It's not always so graceful. And then come the rest of the way down. And then from here, you'll come halfway up. Everyone's going to pause. Yeah. Slide your hands to your hips. Come the rest of the way up. Good. Turn your left toes out right from your hip. Open up your arms nice and wide. So you're creating the shape right here. And then pull yourself into the triangle. Yeah, side ribs turn. Anchor through your outer hips and legs. Spread your feet nice and wide. And the feeling of leaning back a little bit. The two arms stack nicely, your left hip gripping underneath you, your left foot forward. Look down, float up into your version of half moon that works. Find the height of the block. Stack your right hip, spark up your right toes. Breathe yourself open right here. And if you fall, you get wobbly, you come back. Side body is super long, guys. That's the trick to the pose. Hip is hugging in tight. Good. Pay close attention to your left hip and foot. Step back triangle. Try and make it a very slow, deliberate transition. Doesn't always work, but we try. Pull up on that front of the shin and lengthen the side ribs as you look up. Look to the floor, circle the hands down, lean onto your right hand. For Vashisthasana side plank, you can stagger your feet like I'm demonstrating here. You can drop your bottom knee. This is one way. You can lift your left leg up hip height. You can stack the 2 feet on top of one another. But your bottom hip and your top hip are stacked nicely. They're aligned. You can drop to your forearm. Press strong through that right hand, that right tricep, as you lift up a little bit higher. Plank position. Chaturanga Dandasana. We look like we're having a blast. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Let it all go. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into chair pose. I take my chair these days with my feet hips width, so you can play around with that. If you prefer your feet together, go for it. Yeah, sit real deep. Slide your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale your breath. Hook the elbow, twist to the right. Yeah, be mindful of that left hip, that it doesn't slide past the right, because that's going to pull the knee. Stack your body neatly and nicely here. You can air twist as well. That's perfect air. I like that. Yeah, get in there. We're holding a few more breaths. If you have side crow in your practice, plant your hands and you can play around here. Yeah, if you don't have side crow in your practice, just be here and breathe. Watch that left knee. It's a lot for a lot of you. It's sliding past. Good work. Chair pose, come around to center. Smile, you're on camera. Press to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Take yourself out for a second. Breathe, stand upright. One more time, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deep into a strong chair. Slide your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow and twist. Watch that the two knees stay aligned and the feet are aligned. Get heavy in the lower half of the body as you get in there. Spine is long. The twist is happening through those little baby ribs. Look sideways or look up. A little bit more weight in your heels. You got it. If you went side crow, give yourself a little playtime, 2 or 3 breaths. If not, just stay. Chair pose, strong in your legs. Get heavy in the lower half of the body as you drop a little deeper. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. If your feet aren't separated hips with distance, go ahead and do that. Have a block at the top of your mat. Hands to your hips, or maybe even 2. I'm gonna have 2 blocks like this, so it'll look like that. Okay, step the left foot back. The left arm extends up towards the sky. Inhale your breath, come halfway down. Steer your right hip back with your right hand. Use your block, slide underneath your left shoulder for twisting triangle. I like my right hand on the flat part of my back. Good. Breathe the collarbone open and stack the body here. Yeah, these look great. For most of us, we need a block underneath our hand. Yeah, play with the height. I personally like the highest setting, but everyone's a little different. Your hand can also be on your shin, which is a great way to work the legs. Steer your hips back as you stack your body and your spine nice and long. Twist side, look sideways or look up and twist open. Good, look to the floor. Move your block out in front of you. Keep your right hand on the flat part of your back. Let your left leg just pop up hip height into revolved Ardha Chandrasana. So not much changes in the posture. The back leg just lifts up. The block has to adjust a little bit more forward. The right hand can stay on the flat part of your back, or you can peel open. Hug your right hip in strong. Lift from your inner thigh. Don't open your hip. Lift the left leg a little higher and twist open. Look to the floor. Both hands can come down to the floor, to the blocks, or your hands can come to your hips. You can kind of balance in a balanced warrior 3. Without letting your left leg touch, come up standing, crossing your left ankle over your right thigh, and sit into ankle to knee at the top of the mat. If it didn't work out, you just restart. Cross the left foot over that right thigh and flex the foot strong. I'll turn towards you. Yeah. Good. Slide your left thigh back. So actually use your hands to do this. Make sure the foot is high enough up the thigh. And then I like blocks in front because I want to get down deep. And I want to create this strong shape. If you know you have an arm balance, you can get in there, go for it. You can also just have the backs of your triceps and anchor them in, and your hands can be in prayer. But you want to feel like you're leading with your chest and you're super heavy in your legs. Sit deeper. Yes, you really want to get in there. Flex the foot strong around the outside of your right tricep. Hello. Yep, hands to your hips. If you're in a flying position, you have to land your feet down. Press up to stand, lower the left foot to the floor and just stand. All right, with excitement, feet hips width distance, right hand on your hip. Yep, both hands on your hip, right foot steps back, left hand stays on your hip, right arm reaches big. Come into your twisting triangle, use your block. So set up first for twisting triangle, and then we move on to the revolved. Steer the hips back, anchor through your legs, stack nicely, and then maybe you're able to stack the left arm open. Look sideways or look up. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, so I find with any of these twisting postures, if you look back, you round your spine. So look sideways or look up, and it really helps. And the hand on the lower part of the spine is giving you a lot of good information because I'm not there and I can't really see your alignment, but you can kind of feel your way through. Daryl, it looks great. So from here, look down, you're going to float that back leg up and step right up into revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Yeah, so not much changes in the pose. You just kind of have to shimmy your block a little bit more forward. I keep my hands still in the back of my lower back, and that back leg pops up. It's kind of like a warrior three. Lead from your inner right thigh. Flex the foot strong. Find space through your spine and twist. Breathe right here. You're doing great. Twist a little more. Look to the floor. Both hands can come down, or you can balance kind of in a warrior three with your hands on your hips. Without your right leg touching, come up standing, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. If you fall out, you need to reset. Get heavy in the lower half of the body as you get in here. Turn towards you so we can show you. Flex your foot strong around the outside of your left tricep. Maybe your hands are in prayer. It's kind of like a crouching position. Lead with your chest. If you're going to fly, go for it. If not, just stay here. And breathe. Breathe that right hip open. Yeah. Couple more. All the good stuff right here. So at the same time, try and come out. Hands to your hips, press to stand, lower the right foot down. Good. So from the top of the mat, energetically reach your arms up, dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Guide your left leg all the way back. Your left leg goes all the way back. Right hip hugs in, arms come up, crescent. Hands to prayer hard, lean out and hook the elbow. Crescent with a twist. Rip your right hip in strong. If you're spent, your back knee can come down and give yourself a little bit of TLC. If not, activate your back leg, lean back a little, look sideways, look up, and get in there. Yeah. Air twisting is great. Breathe yourself open right here. Grip that right hip in super strong. Stay with it. Happy things, happy thoughts. All right, guys, place both hands down to the ground. Right foot's going to stay where it is, or you can creep it to the center. Left knee is going to come right behind your right foot. You're going to come to sit, Ardha Chandrasana, seated spine twist. Make sure your right butt cheek is on the ground and it's not way up off the ground. Right hand comes to the base of your spine. I just like to give my right leg a little hug with my left arm, or you can hook it in there. You decide. Inhale your breath, lengthen up. Exhale, look over the shoulder and twist. Good. Come through center. You can counter stretch. It's up to you. Good. Unravel yourself like this. The feet are going to go flat. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So we started the practice on our backs like this. Your palms are going to face you, fingers are going to face you. Inhale your breath, reverse tabletop with ankle to knee. Flex the foot strong. Look down the center line of the body and make sure it's a straight line of energy. Good. Flex the right foot strong. Let your right thigh drop open, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower your tailbone. Lower your right to the foot to the floor. Reach your arms forward, lift your wet legs. Flex the toes a little, a version of Navasana. Art of Navasana is not happening today, just regular Navasana. You can catch the sides of your thighs. Your legs can go super straight. Your hands can go on the ground. Scoop out your belly, reach forward with your arms. Lift your collarbone, lift your chest. Cross your ankles, step or float through your vinyasa. Keep it moving. When you get to your down dog, just step your left foot forward. Crescent lunge. Hands to prayer at heart. Inhale the breath, lean out, hook the elbow, and twist. Drop your back knee if it's, a little too aggressive. Back leg is super strong for the majority of us. Lean back, get in there. So you focus on your left hip right here. Squeeze it underneath you and twist open. Two more. Look to the floor, place both hands down, pause. I like to walk the foot, my left foot to the center. It just lines it up a little better. Swing your right knee behind you and come down to sit. This is a very old, Alice, this is like an original transition, like an original power flow transition. Left hand behind you, right elbow hooks behind, inhale the breath, lengthen up, exhale, twist. You could just give this leg a squeeze, the top leg. This is gonna give you a great stretch to your piriformis. Inhale that breath and then look over your left shoulder, twist. Come back through center. You can counter stretch. Doesn't really do anything. It just feels good. Unwind yourself. Take the feet flat to the floor. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex the foot. Flip the palms behind you. Fingers are going to face you. Inhale that breath. Exhale, lift up. Reverse tabletop with ankle to knee. Flex the foot strong. Flex the foot a little more. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower the tailbone. Lower the left foot down. Both feet are going to go flat. Inhale your breath. Exhale, lift up. Both feet on the floor. Good. Exhale the breath, lower down. We're going to do two more. You can do independent leg lifts here or just repeat like I just did. Inhale the breath, try and move on the exhale breath. Lift up. So if you want to lift one leg, go straight up towards the sky. Looks like this. You could just stay with the foot down. Lower the right foot. Lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. One more. Here we go. Lift up. Lift the left leg up. Lower the left foot down. Lift 1 inch higher. Exhale the breath, lower down. Wrap your arms and give yourself a squeeze. Yeah. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together. Play with what feels good. So like there's not one way. Like your feet can be close to you. You can grab your ankles and you can sit up really tall. Some of us like it more like the 5-pointed star where you can wrap your arms under and fold. I kind of like this today, yeah. But generally speaking, I end up upright. Yeah, this is sometimes where I stay, but kind of liking this in my body today, coming forward and breathing. Good, pull yourself up. I want you to take your block or go to the wall. We're going to finish with legs up the wall or supported shoulder stand. So it's going to look like this. Feet go flat, lay down first. Take your block, slide it underneath your lower back like you're going to bridge. Clasp your hands. And then lift one leg once you get stability, and then the other leg. If you're near a wall, you have to kind of climb close to the wall, go sideways, and then the legs go up the wall. Yeah. And then if you're like that, yes, close your eyes. And if you don't have a block or a wall nearby, just legs can just go straight up. Yeah, the higher the block goes, the more you're going to get. There you go. Bend your knees in half. Do it slow. Take one foot, then the other foot to the floor. Once you get grounded, then lift your hips enough that you can kind of grab that block out from underneath. And then I like the feet the width of the mat and the knees coming together, just kind of neutralizing the pelvis. And then slide the legs forward into Shavasana. If you feel that you need any last little movements, take them here. If not, we've done quite a few poses this morning. Slide yourself into a Shavasana, make yourself comfortable. Yeah. And then just let yourself kind of mush into the floor. Let it go. Complete rest. Fill up a giant breath in. And then let a giant breath air out. Exhale, breath out. As you pull yourself back in, stretch your arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a really nice, juicy stretch. If you have more time, you can stay. Hug your knees to your chest, giant squeeze in. And in your own way, rocking yourself up to seat. So maybe you want to stay laying down. That's fine. Sit up nice and tall and just feel this morning's practice in your body with your eyes closed. You kind of scan the body for a second. Maybe a little lighter, a little freer, hopefully. Hands to prayer, bow your head for a moment. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Pleasure practicing with you guys this morning. Great job. Stay warm if you're cold on the East Coast. And we'll do this again Wednesday.